sucks growing up thinking that you're a cool demon king, only to find out that you're a weird slug man instead. Piccolo had to figure that out. All the meanwhile teaching some kid how to dodge. Yeah. Alright, guys, so here we have the new Dragon Ball Super Dragon Stars Piccolo. And I picked this one up locally at my GameStop for $22.99, but actually got it cheaper. This is when they were doing them for 25% off. So I don't think they're doing that sale anymore. I think it ended last week or so. So I'm glad I picked this up. And as a new figure, I'm pretty excited. Though, for Piccolo, I wish he had his, his robes and his turban and all that stuff and giant cape. That would have been great. But so far, it looks pretty cool. Dragon Stars, chromey stuff as usual. Nothing on this side. Chrome stuff up there. Ages 4 plus. Wait, up there. All right. I'm right in the middle of that. And turn it this way. Hey, look, it's Piccolo wearing the clothes he doesn't have. I kind of assume we'll get one later that does have it. So, come to the back. And you've got all the same guys that we'll be looking at throughout this wave. So, there's that, but real simple. I'm looking forward to Cell. I really dig his sculpt, although he doesn't seem big enough to me. I don't know why I'm digging Android 18, or 17 I should say. I wonder if he'll come with his gun or not. And also, sort of wish we got the Super version of 17. So, I'm guessing somewhere down the line we'll get that, along with a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which it's gonna happen. Had to guess. But I'm guessing with some of the things we are getting here that aren't necessarily canon, maybe we'll actually get like a Super Saiyan Gogeta. Not a 4, just a regular. But anyway, let's get Mr. Piccolo open right here and see how good he is. Alright, so we've got Piccolo out here, and I will say I'm disappointed to a degree. He's just got problems, like... For instance, he can't stand pretty much straight because the way his feet are. Or maybe it's just foot. Maybe it's just how this one is. So the ankle is there, just not quite cooperating. His shoes are molded funny. Maybe it's just that one. But, I mean, he looks really cool. I got him here in his normal cross-arm stance, or at least as close as I can get it. You can't quite, there's no butterfly. That's one thing these guys definitely lack. Though he does actually have good paint here on his arms for the pink sections. Same thing over here. Maybe I should swap that out for a expressive hand, which is the same hands we get for all these guys, except they actually look somewhat correct on Piccolo, being that he's a big dude. Get the wrist in the right orientation. That's one thing that has always bugged me about these figures. There we go. I'm not going to have him displayed that way, but it's still a thing. He also has that thing that Vegeta has where he can't not look down. Which I guess, considering he's usually played by the same person, I guess that's okay. But he's always looking down. Can't have him look up at all. He can actually only look forward even more. That comes down to, well, there not being any movement in the back of the neck. So he might be a candidate for that back of the head craniotomy thing I normally do. The ears are nice and pointy. Got his antenna. Looks good. They've nailed his scowl, like, perfectly. Though I'm probably going to have to shade him. He needs a little bit of the darker shading since I have that green marker. Molding on the skin is very nice, except it kind of looks like he's made of wood. I don't think I ever made that connection, but that looks funny. They did do the thing like they do on Gohan, and I guess on Goku too, where the shoulder bits here are totally separate. So it works, and he's got the soft center section here. The legs... can't tell if they're new mold or not. I'm comparing to a pre-existing figure. This crotch more than likely is the same one they use on Goku or Gohan or anybody who wears, ruffly pants. And I was fairly well convinced that this is in fact reused here and just done in purple, but I can't tell, to be totally honest. It looks a lot like original Goku, who I've got here, of course. There's a lot of similar molding. And then, in some degrees, he looks a little bit like Gohan, but I guess they're all going to be very similar. I bet this belt is... No, the belt's actually different. Surprising. So maybe they are doing slightly different molds now. They're not using the exact same thing, but... Well, these legs are a lot thicker, though it looks to be almost the exact design, but they are molded thicker. But there we go. We got him with Mr. Gohan, who, you know, he trained him up in Super to become stronger. Didn't mean to do a comparison this early, but I was just really trying to analyze it. I will say they at least got his height decent, because he is supposed to tower over people. Let's actually compare him to Goku. He's supposed to be decently taller than... At the shoulders, he's definitely taller. Head-wise, of course, he's at the hair. And I just want to compare him to a Super Saiyan Vegeta. Did you know they've actually never fought? Weird, huh? And compare him to a Wave Mate, since we only have the one. Next, Frieza, which he did fight on Namek. I feel like he should be bulkier, though I guess in his normal mode, not, you know, outside of Cell Saga, he's about this beefy. So, and I guess in Super, he really wasn't that big. So, assuming this is the Super version of Piccolo, which there's not really that much of a difference, let's just be honest here. It is what it is. So, yeah, so that back of the head needs to be done, because otherwise you have to tilt his back way back to get that head, and it is just a ball joint. So, oh, look at that. Whoa, hold on. This is the first one I've had all this time that neck freely rotates. What? Is that how these guys are all supposed to be, and this is just the first one that's ever been loose enough to do it? That's crazy. He does come with his accessories. Oh, that hand wasn't really on there. So, open hands, fist hands, and most importantly, the 2-finger hands, which I believe were probably only developed for him and Goku, because I know that he and Goku both use it specifically in this wave, but he can do he can get set up for the special beam cannon, which is probably how I'll have him displayed, like that. And in the case of Goku, it is for the instant transmission. One thing I will say, he's got some pretty loose joints. So just talking about it, of course, we saw that ball joint mounted head does rotate, but mostly takes the neck with it. Same kind of ratcheted shoulders that we always get. Those super loose for what they are. And the shoulder the shoulder pad here kind of rotates to free up the arm a little bit. Nicely done bicep cut there. Double jointed elbow that does give you a decent range of motion. Same wrist we're always used to. Double ball joint or big single ball joint, one way or the other. For that, nice and loose. These hips, as you can see, pretty loose. Knees are pretty loose. So these are the better knees, though. I will give them that. They're still not great, but they're better than some of the other ones, especially Goku's. Goku's tend to have the really crappy knees. Now, the problem is here, the ankle is exactly the same kind of ankle they always use. And that doesn't really work for the type of shoes Piccolo wears, because they're more or less boots with high ankles. And you can't really get any ankle movement out of it. And that's pointless. Unless this particular boot is like rotated funny or something, I can't tell. But it's always wanting to point forward or down. So unless you got him in a pretty good wide stance, odds are he might fall. But you can get him here in that stance. That's pretty much how he's going to stay. So that's good. Oh, I forgot to mention something when I did the Freezer review last time. So just getting him out of the box, or out of the packaging, I completely popped this leg off. Like, super easy. Like, Zama's easy. Like, it's like pop the feet out just to kind of get him loose, and the whole leg came straight off the hip. So, I mean, since then I haven't had much problems, but that's literally only been minutes, you know. So I guess in theory I shouldn't have problems that quick with it. I do really wish we had that little floater car thingy that he had, his pod, the Frieza pod. So, either way, Piccolo looks really good. I do really want a full-on version with the cape and all that. But, real quick, yeah, there he is with the, the cape from Moon Knight, which is pretty similar if I'm honest. So, I mean, honestly, we just molded in some of the things here and made it to where it would clear his face, which is clearly one of the problems. Also, I can't get the head off. I tried. So, I thought it would be easy, but it was not. But, yeah, that's what he would at least look like with the cape. Actually, you could totally make a nail if you wanted to. Just cut the cape off and use only this part. The hard part's going to be getting that off. I barely got it on there over the ears and everything, so this ought to be interesting. But guys, if you like Piccolo, if you like this figure, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up. Need a lot more likes on videos, guys, seriously. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel and you like what I'm doing here. And if you want to help support the channel in other ways, go ahead and check out the Shoky shirts and the Shoky Patreon, where you'll see a lot of these things early from now on. And all that's in the description down below. But I'll catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, dodge!